begin the show then by putting the spotlight on Shiprocket. The company is launching a collaboration with Sky Air, which is a leading SaaS-based drone delivery solution provider. Let's understand a little bit more about this debut and how things are shaping up at the company. We've got Atul Mehta. He's the COO of Shiprocket joining in on the show. Atul, thanks so much for taking time out. Let's begin then by talking about this collaboration, a SaaS-based drone delivery solution provider. Who would have thought that that is really going to be the next mode of transport that you're using? Tell us a little bit more about this partnership, when it's going to debut, how many drones?
Yeah, thanks, Aman, for having me on the show, and thanks for giving this opportunity. I think Shiprocket as the leading e-commerce enablement solution, we are on a mission to enable thousands and thousands of SMEs in the country. We are always looking at what can we bring for our merchants as solutions which are tech backwards. Our partnership with Sky Air is in sync with that mission of ours to bring the latest technology innovations to our merchants. There's a need for the merchants to deliver fast and on demand. We have been aggressively working over the last 1 year on a charter of improving speed of e-commerce deliveries for our merchants. We have a very active same-day delivery network and assured next-day delivery network. And this partnership with Sky Air, I think, is a tiny step in that direction. There's this amazing technological innovation happening on where we are actually able to use drones for e-commerce deliveries within the city. We are going to pilot with 5 drones in Gurgaon across some 12 to 15 pin codes. And over the next 3 to 6 months, the plan is to extend it to 3-4 other metros as well. Yeah, but the idea is, can I leverage what we are seeing as advancements in technology around in the ecosystem and bring it for thousands of merchants we work with? And that's a purpose. And we are very excited about bringing this as one of the enablement pieces for our merchants forward.
You know, that really is called leveraging technology to the max, really. And, given that Shiprocket has been doing that, looking at a lot of technology, at AI, in order to improve the customer experience, tell us a little bit more about how you're really leveraging technology. What are some of the other innovative methods? What is the use of AI as well into the mix?
Yeah. See, I think, like I said, our purpose is more to bring in more and more partnerships and ecosystem players, bring in more and more tools for our merchants to help them compete with the marketplaces. See, we are enabling merchants who are doing direct commerce, who are selling outside marketplaces. And if you look at the marketplaces, they have a very robust ecosystem of different solutions, whether it is around delivery, conversion, customer experience, checkout, marketing, advertising tools. The idea is, how do we bring that for our merchants at one place? We started with shipping. 2017 was when we started with enabling shipping for our merchants. Very soon we realized merchants wanted faster. So we got into fulfillment. We have warehousing solutions across 40 cities. We are getting into cross-border enablement. Merchants can sell across the globe from their warehouses in the country. We enable seamless shipping for their orders across 50 plus countries across the globe. So that's a piece of enablement on supply chain, which we have been doing. But as we were engaging with these merchants, we realized there's an opportunity to partner with them on the growth and conversion side as well. So if you look at the catalog quality, can I enrich their catalog quality on their websites to help them drive better conversion? Can I make the process of checkout faster? Can I bring in AI interventions to enable them to do customer service really well? 70 to 80% of customer queries after an order has been shipped is around logistics. I power logistics for 80,000 merchants across the country. We are bringing in solutions for our merchants where customer service on their website is going to be at par or even better than what consumers are used to when they're shopping on marketplaces. We are bringing in checkout solutions so that the experience of a buyer on a direct commerce website, on a Shopify website, from add to cart to checkout, is faster than what they are used to on marketplaces. We are bringing in interventions where a merchant, through integrations, is able to publish their catalog onto ONDC and leverage the power of ONDC with a single click. These are some of the things we are bringing in interventions for our merchants to be able to run remarketing campaigns and be able to improve LTV for their consumers with very seamless campaigns auto-created by us with intelligence of which customer segmentation needs to be targeted with which message. I think overall, we believe there is a lot of innovation on the technology side which is happening, both on how to enable merchants with better content which they can bring forward for their buyers, as well as on the processes and the workflows around pre-ordering as well as post-ordering. And we believe it's
right. Atul, I just wanted to move on and talk a little bit more about the company's foray into the Middle East in particular, because that was really the first set of international operations, Saudi Arabia. Tell us a little bit more about whether or not now you are able to, operate at the same growth as some of, the e-commerce partners. I believe 3x to 5x growth every year. What is the kind of potential that you see during specific festive times, etc.?
Yeah. See, I think we are seeing robust growth across the segment. And what we see as a growth on our platform is both of continuing sellers growing. There are merchants we work with who are seeing 40 to 50% growth year on year on their Shopify websites. And I think there's another piece of growth which is being driven, which we are seeing getting accelerated more and more over the last couple of years. There are 50,000 shopping carts in the country today. US today has 3 million shopping carts. We're going to see a lot more entrepreneurs, a lot more businesses come up and take up e-commerce and direct commerce in a big way. And that's what we are seeing getting accelerated month on month, year on year. There are a lot more new businesses coming in, people setting up their shops, looking at what customer value prop they want to cater to. I think of new businesses, a lot of innovation happening. So we are seeing growth, 40 to 50% growth on existing sellers growing, while also seeing a massive acceleration on new businesses coming in and setting up stores.
Okay. Let's also understand how you're looking at growing the and really empowering MSMEs across India, because there has been a lot of work as well with the government for the Vision India at 100. How are you really enabling a lot of these e-commerce merchants who are living beyond the tier 2 cities?
Yeah, I think that's our purpose. Mane, if you look at what our vision is to enable e-commerce in the country. We started with enabling the shipping journey, which was the post-checkout journey. But as we are engaging with our merchants, we realize there are two suites of services which any merchant will need. Yes, they need to figure out what customer value prop they are targeting, who their buyer is, and what they want to offer to their buyers. But beyond that, there are two distinct suite of services: supply chain suite of services, which is around shipping, which is around warehousing, cargo movement, cross-border, which is a key focus area for us. We onboarded India Post recently, enabling our 70,000 merchants to have access to the deep network of India Post for their e-commerce shipping. So that continues to be a focus area for us. If any merchant in the country wants to reach out to any consumer in the country, we as Shiprocket will enable it through our partners we work with a seamless post-checkout experience. Our promise to the merchant is you focus on your consumer, you focus on building the right products, and Shiprocket will take care of the entire post-checkout experience and the journey for you. So that's one piece, which is the supply chain suite of services. We are also aggressively building tools around how can I help the MSMEs grow? How can I help them do better customer CRM? How can I help them improve their checkout experience? How can I help them get more customers? How can I help bridge the trust deficit which exists? Like, you look at any consumer, you are very comfortable when you're shopping on Amazon or Flipkart, because there's this implicit trust which is there when you're shopping on these marketplaces. You go to any Shopify website or an Instagram seller, you see very high cash on delivery rates. And that is fundamentally because there's this trust deficit between the buyer and the seller, and the buyer is not assured that whether he'll get this shipment or not. We are trying to solve that problem. We are trying to sort of build a bridge. We've just launched Shiprocket Promise, which is a trust marker for websites where we are enabling their shipping to help bridge that trust deficit. We believe direct commerce needs an ecosystem, needs a set of tools and a set of services they can tap into if they have to compete with the big marketplaces. We want to anchor that. We'll build some of it on our own, and we'll partner with thousands of other enablers which are out there. We have some 100+ integrations as a platform to enable our merchants to be able to deliver an experience which is at par or better than marketplaces. So that's what we are focusing on day in, day out.
Sure. And tell us a little bit more about the kind of gross merchandise value that you enjoy on an annual basis, how it has shaped up over the past few months. What is the kind of shipments that you're doing daily in terms of your overall volume? Are you growing your transactions year on year?
Yeah. See, in terms of numbers, we power somewhere between $3 to $4 billion of GMV in the country. We do almost 10 million shipments in a month. So that's the scale of shipments and the GMV which we are powering, and that number is growing sequentially month on month as we have our existing merchants grow, as well as new merchants coming in. So our growth is being driven, fortunately, by both new merchants which we are acquiring, new sellers which we are getting onboarded, and the existing merchants which are growing.
Okay. And how are you looking really to, grow your overall transaction value, build on, the kind of transactions that you see, your gross merchandise value? What's the long-term game plan?
See, I think their vision is very clear. We potentially are 30 to 40% of our of direct commerce. The idea is, how do we scale that and get more and more merchants to work with us, so that we can help them. We don't look at it from a GMV perspective. We look at it more from how much of e-commerce enablement am I doing in the country right now. We feel very proud that $4 billion of GMV in India is being powered by the solutions which we have built. Yes, we want every new entrepreneur, every new Shopify WooCommerce merchant who's setting up their shop to come to us for their enablement journey. And one of the key things which we are focusing on to drive that is to say, yes, we were doing shipping in the past, and the host of other products which I talked about, whether it was checkout, whether it was trust, whether it was ONDC enablement, should ensure that, one, a lot more merchants start their entrepreneurship journey. And when they do, Shiprocket becomes the default e-commerce enabler for them. So that's what key levers for us as we look at growth is. Yes, we do want to power the 4 billion GMV should become 6, 8, 10 as we grow. But we also want to power a large percentage of that GMV and influence a large percentage of that GMV. Today, when I power logistics only, I am playing in the 6 to 7% of the logistics spends of a merchant out of this of the 4 billion GMV which I am powering. As we get into the other suite of services around marketing and warehousing solutions, cross-border cargo, the take rate goes up from, say, a 6% to a 10-12%. So those are the two components of the growth. How do I power more and more GMV by getting more and more merchants? And also, how do I power more and more components of the business for that 4 billion GMV, where today it is largely dominated by logistics, which is 6% take rate. How do we take it to 10 to 12%?
Okay, take us through your outlook on how you're really looking to leverage on the kind of growth potential that we're seeing within the space as a whole. You had Akshay Gulati as well, who said that the industry is predicted to be $90 to $100 billion by the year 2030, and the B2B market in India is one of the fastest growing. So how are you looking to really leverage on this, looking at the golden period, as Gulati said, Akshay said, actually over the next 5 years?
See, I think you're bang on. We are very excited with the opportunity. Like I said earlier, 40,000 shopping carts in the country today. US has 3 million. The journey from 40,000 to 3 million is going to happen over the next 6-7 years. And that's what is going to drive a lot of e-commerce growth outside marketplaces. Just some numbers. Today, e-commerce outside marketplaces is less than 10% in India. That number in an evolved market like US is around 30-odd%. So not only the e-commerce market going to grow, direct commerce within that is going to accelerate a lot more. We truly believe we have an opportunity to enable that growth. And that's why a clear focus on saying, I'm not going to restrict myself to just shipping, which is more a derivative business of what the merchant is able to grow. I want to be able to influence the merchant's growth. I want to play a pivotal role in doing that, in helping India do that journey from 40,000 shopping carts to 3 million shopping carts. And for us, the strategy there is very simple. The direction there is very simple. I do shipping, but can I do a lot more of enabling them with solutions around their catalog, around their channels? ONDC is going to be a big enabler. So how do I enable all my sellers to sell on ONDC? Checkout solutions are going to be big. CRM tools and remarketing tools are going to be key. Building trust between merchants and buyer is going to be key. So that's on the MSME enablement, which we believe is critical, and we need to focus on the growth aspect along with the supply chain aspect as well, so that we are able to drive that growth fundamentally in the country. I think on the B2B side, it's interesting. We just started that journey 1.5 years back, coming again from listening to our sellers, where they came back and said, yes, you have solved for last mile small packet deliveries, but I have almost an equivalent movement of goods happening on the cargo side, and the industry there is even more fragmented and disorganized. Can you help me deliver a supply chain single view seamless experience there as well? Which has been a focus area for us. We are investing significantly behind scaling Shiprocket Cargo. How do we get all our merchants who are doing last mile with me to get access to that? I think there the key is to be able to bring in transparency, to be able to bring in technology and workflows, data-driven technology workflows to deliver a seamless experience. Like today, a merchant doesn't know where his cargo shipment is, when it is going to get delivered, the tracking, the real-time updates. What we are very used to on the small packet logistics is not so scaled on the cargo side. That's the problem which we are trying to solve. Saying if we can fix experience, if we can make cargo experience for a merchant as good as what small packet is, we'll get growth. So when we look at growth, we look at what the customer problem is. If we solve it, sooner or later, we'll get merchants working with us.
All right, let you go on that note, Atul. Thanks so much for taking time out and joining in.
Thank you. Thanks.
If you're